tend to look at the numbers and studies are fantastic and they're very helpful, but at the same time, I think many of us get caught up in those and they see, oh, because that study said this, I need to do that. But that's the average.
Right.
And that's not everybody. And so what I think is kind of cool about what you're doing here is that you have different options for everyone. And it's, as we said earlier, it's got incredible properties that are going to help people with a variety of different issues. And in terms of helping someone to feel better, let's just say they feel subpar. What's the number one recommendation if they had to choose anything on this cabinet? What's the number one you would give them?
So something, if people can't make up their mind,
Yeah.
you know, obviously I would dig deeper if like, well, when you say you don't feel well, what does that mean?
Exactly.
And what part, you know, not feeling well is very blanket statement of, it could be they have a stomach ache or, you know, and really it's like, what's your lifestyle? Because at the end of the day, I can give someone, you know, mycelial brain, but if they're eating processed food and looking at a screen all day like this close and they have a ton of stress in their life and they overthink everything, it's like, well, let's look at those things.
Yeah.
I'll give you the mycelial brain all day and it'll help you for sure, but I also want to dig deeper, and people, a lot of people are lazy and they don't want to change their lifestyle and they want an easy pill that they can take and something that will fix all their problems. But it's not that simple. And we're really holistic, dynamic human beings in this interconnected world, and we need to look at, you know, all the different avenues which come together. But for some person who just wants, you know, general whole system health, that, you know, they don't know what to choose, and they heard about mushrooms that are good for them and they just want an intro, we have a Mush 10 product that is 10 different medicinal mushrooms all blended together equal parts, and you know, every single mushroom is different, but every single mushroom, generally medicinal mushrooms are adaptogenic and immunomodulating. So if our immune system's overacting, we have a lot of inflammation, it'll bring our immune system back down. If it's too low, we get sick really easily, bring it back up, bring our body to homeostasis, which is really important. And that's really how adaptogens work. They help our body adapt to stress and fatigue, and especially in this high-paced, stressful, go, stimulus everywhere world, I think everyone should be souped up on adaptogens. They're just where it's at, and especially medicinal mushrooms that are just really at the core. They're just like really earthy and then will really help people with that adaptogenic process. I would recommend Mush 10 as kind of like a nice handshake to the whole fungal kingdom.
Almost like a multivitamin in a sense.
Exactly, like a multivitamin.
And so I've heard people say, because I think the Mush 10 has reishi and cordyceps. So people have asked me, they say, well, cordyceps and reishi are kind of two different ends of the spectrum. They're like, what do you tell them? Is it that they're both adaptogenic herbs, or how does that work together when they're both in one formula? Yeah,
so generally we'll talk about reishi as very calming, but it also has effects. Studies have been shown that it increases nerve growth factor, which also cordyceps does as well. They both also have an effect on lungs and lung capacity and anti-inflammatory properties. They also have that same adaptogenic properties. They also have that same immunomodulating properties. So they do a lot of the same things, and they tend to balance each other out in a lot of really amazing ways. The Mush 10 is really just a concoction of many different mushrooms. They all do a lot of different things, and it's meant to be like a multivitamin, a whole system health